Let me make something crystal clear: I never wanted a fight. All I wanted was a peaceful life, a backyard big enough to grill in, and the kind of quiet where you can hear your thoughts, not your neighbor's leaf blower. But peace, as it turns out, comes at a price in the pristine little kingdom of Rosewood Glade, and that price came with a clipboard and a pastel tracksuit named Dolores Hammond. I'm Chris Tannen. Just a quiet guy with a job in graphic design and a taste for medium-rare steaks and bad TV that never gets renewed. I live at 308 Wisteria Court, but to the Homeowners Association, I'm just an account number with a lawn to monitor. Dolores was the HOA president. If Martha Stewart and a DMV clerk had a baby and raised it on bureaucracy, you'd get her. Her golf cart had a name, the Enforcer. And her yard, landscaped within an inch of its life, complete with a bronze plaque reading, "Order is peace." That should tell you everything. For a while, I stayed under the radar. I paid my dues, kept my hedges trimmed, waved when waved at. But then came the envelope. Thick cream-colored cardstock, gold leaf seal of the Rosewood Glade HOA. Didn't even look like a bill, more like an invitation to a cult. Inside, a cheerful announcement of a $600 special assessment and a 40% increase in dues. No vote. No warning. Just, effective immediately. I showed up to the next HOA meeting. Bad move. Beige room, beige chairs, beige souls. Dolores in the center like some suburban queen, flanked by two lifeless board members who blinked in unison. I asked politely where our money was going. She smiled like she was about to euthanize a puppy. "We simplify complex finances for your convenience," she said. Translation: shut up and pay. I left humiliated, but that wasn't the worst part. A week later, a violation notice appeared on my door. Improper grass height 4.25 inches instead of 4. Maximum allowed, 4. It came with a $75 fine and a warning. A warning. For grass. That was it for me. No more quiet compliance. Dolores wanted a war of rules. Fine. I'd give her one. I downloaded the entire HOA charter, all 219 pages of it, and became a man obsessed. The bylaws were a maze of contradictions and arbitrary nonsense. But in between the legalese, I found gold. Dolores's entire front yard garden. Unapproved landscaping elements. Her award-winning rose bushes. Illegal by her own standards. No application, no permit, no nothing. That's when I launched Operation Gnome Drop. I submitted a formal request to place a single decorative garden gnome, Model G52 Whimsical Wanderer, on my front lawn. I included blueprints, a materials report, a notarized letter of artistic intent. Dolores had to review it at an emergency ARC meeting. She denied it, of course. Cited aesthetic inconsistency. Wrong move. I appealed. Attached a 14-page dossier featuring every non-compliant lawn ornament in a 4-block radius. Gnomes, flamingos, rusted frogs. Even Dolores's own chipped bird bath. I didn't want the gnome anymore, I wanted the paper trail. And she gave it to me. The violations came weekly now. One for unseasonal lighting string lights left up past New Year's. Another for my trash bin being 3 inches outside the refuse alignment zone. Then she called the cops. Said I was pressure washing aggressively. The cops. Confused but polite. Officer Hart even complimented my clean driveway. Then came the big one, a lien threat. $1,400 in fines, interest, and administrative costs. Dolores tried to put a lien on my property. I hired a lawyer. Best move I ever made. Kyle Mendoza, mid-30s, relentless, caffeinated like a hummingbird on Red Bull. He read the lien paperwork once and started laughing. She screwed up the parcel number, he said. She filed the lien against her own empty lot. Turns out Dolores owned the vacant lot next to mine, her green buffer zone. And in her fury, she filed the lien against it. The court date was glorious. She showed up with a binder labeled Tanan, Threat to Community Order. Kyle stood, calm as a monk, and presented the county filing. Your Honor, he said, this lien, signed and filed by Ms. Hammond herself, targets parcel ID 117B. That's not my client's property. That's hers. The judge, a grey-mustached titan named Judge Franklin, actually chuckled. He ruled the lien valid on her lot. I wrote a check on the spot. Paid the debt. Took the deed. Now I own her buffer zone. A month later, I transformed it. Not out of spite, okay, maybe a little. But I did it by the book. Kyle found a loophole that let me turn the lot into a community Zen garden. A legal, rule-abiding, aesthetically approved Zen garden. It's beautiful. River stones, wind chimes, dwarf pines. And right in the center, a 2-foot-tall bronze gnome, polished to a shine, holding a miniature HOA charter in one hand and flashing a knowing smile. Dolores was voted out in the next meeting. By then, my story had spread. The neighborhood stopped fearing her. We started having block parties. The new HOA president. He sends recipe emails. And me. I still cut my lawn to exactly 4.25 inches on purpose. My gnome watches over the garden. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear him whisper. Don't start wars with quiet men. We read the fine print. Some say justice is blind. In Rosewood Glade, she wears a pointy hat and carries a bronze scroll. And just last weekend, Dolores finally sold her house. Couldn't stand the view anymore. I saw the moving truck pull away, her golf cart strapped down like a wounded animal. The new family. Lovely couple, 2 kids, golden retriever named Muffin. They brought over cookies on day 1. Said the garden was the reason they bought. I nodded, offered them a beer, and pointed to the gnome. That little guy. He's the mayor now. Welcome to the neighborhood. And wouldn't you know it? That night, for the first time in years, I slept with the windows open. No paranoia. No fines. Just wind in the trees. And the soft, smug smile of a 2-foot bronze gnome keeping the peace. Let me make something crystal clear: I never wanted a fight. All I wanted was a peaceful life, a backyard big enough to grill in, and the kind of quiet where you can hear your thoughts, not your neighbor's leaf blower. But peace, as it turns out, comes at a price in the pristine little kingdom of Rosewood Glade, and that price came with a clipboard and a pastel tracksuit named Dolores Hammond. I'm Chris Tanan. Just a quiet guy with a job in graphic design and a taste for medium-rare steaks and bad TV that never gets renewed. I live at 308 Wisteria Court,